It was butterbeer season, so we got some special butterbeer treats. The ice lolly was it's just a popsicle, but the butterbeer popsicle was a standout in the butterbeer season treats.
It's my favorite version of butterbeer.
Well, what's butterbeer season?
Is that like Oktoberfest?
Yeah. It's like March to May. They call it butterbeer season.
I didn't know.
It's a marketing scheme.
Oh, that's when the butterbeer is most ripe.
Yes, most ripe.
When I'm human, and I'm gonna blow my horn till the cows come home, and everyone's gonna bow down to me. Hey guys, how you doing? It's Michael Leon Woolley, the voice of Louis the Alligator from the Disney movie The Princess and the Frog, and you're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast with Kevin, Danny, Eli, and Rachel.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast. They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sana, everyone. You're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana. And on this show, I invite you to feel the libation.
Feel it, feel it.
We are artistic buffs and not artistic cream puffs. This is a show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. In this episode, we present part 1 of Rachel's epic day at Universal Epic Universe. And look, this isn't your typical polish, practice, pixie dust, and Disney podcast. No way. We are not in Disneyland every day, letting you know that the Port Royal Curios and Curiosities store in New Orleans Square, which used to sell a lot of Haunted Mansion merch, has been turned into a faux jazz bar seating area for the Royal Street Veranda.
Dude, I saw that and I'm like, why not a real one?
That's what I was thinking.
Good up.
But that's right, Kev. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk some Universal and find out if Rachel's Universal vacation was truly epic.
And yes, and all you listeners have the easy part. All you guys and gals have to do is to listen up to what we think up while we drink up.
My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
I'm Eli.
And I'm Rachel. And we have a special guest. He's live broadcasting right from the upstairs of my house. And that is my husband, Josh. Hey, Josh.
Hey, how's it going?
Long time a weekend, back on the show again. How you doing, sir?
I can't complain other than the crappy thunderstorm that I'm dealing with right now.
Now, I thought we had an agreement that you weren't coming back on the show until you beat your wife at fantasy football.
Oh,
that's never gonna happen.
Hey,
next year's coming.
That's what I thought he was going to say. Like, well, next year's coming. I'm jumping to him. He's like, nah.
Saquon Barkley wins the damn Super Bowl, but he can't help me beat her.
Bummer.
But y'all had a good Super Bowl.
Yes,
you did.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. 3 of the 4 of y'all.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see if the Patriots can get any better next year. That would be great.
Oh, they can't get worse.
That's true.
Maybe.
Well, you can always get worse.
Yeah.
They get like us.
Always think down. Always think down.
And look, guys, if you're thinking about visiting the Universal Orlando Resort, Rachel can definitely help you book that or even a Disney vacation. And remember, booking with Rachel is one of the easiest ways to support us. Also, you can leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts and wherever you access our show. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode of the Magic Our Way podcast. Also, we want to thank our Patreon supporters for all that they do for us. But before we get into it, just to go back to that whole Disneyland faux jazz bar thing, did that suck?
It does!
I mean, it looks pretty. I was like, oh, they could have drinks. No.
I got really excited when I saw that. I'm like, wow, they really are embracing this New Orleans theming. And no, it's fake bottles.
Yeah, it's just an additional seating area. They designed additional seating area for the quick service restaurant, which is the restaurant we're talking about in Orleans Square, Royal Street Veranda, and they themed it. It looks like a bar. It's not, but it's not. It's a fake bar.
Yeah.
They literally call it a faux bar.
What's the point of the fake bar?
It's just a theme. It's like, New Orleans, they have bars, except they don't have alcohol at this one.
That's a shame because Disney can do what people who aren't from New Orleans think New Orleans is. And I'm thinking back to our trip when we did an Alaska cruise. We were on the Disney Wonder, and they have the French Quarter bar there, which if I had to imagine a bar in New Orleans, that's it. and they've got the drinks, they've got the vibe, they've got the atmosphere. Come on, Disney.
Yeah. It's such a disappointment. And with all these lounges that they're opening now, that they're having the Pirates one in the Magic Kingdom coming up soon. Why not do one? And Oga's does drinks in Disneyland. Why not?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the point of having a full bar? That's
not a full bar, a faux bar.
That's what I'm saying. I want full tickets.
I thought you said a full bar.
No, well, I would like a full bar too, but I mean, what's the point?
Their faux bar is food bar. So there you go.
Your food bar, everything.
Food bar to full bar.
We're gonna pour water in it. Like, that's crazy.
Colored water. Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
It really was. Like, I got excited, but I guess I missed the part where it said faux.
Yeah. You thought they served pho.
No, I was like,
a pho bar.
I was confused with a faux jazz club. I didn't get that the faux was the bar part. I was like, how do you do a fake jazz club? Like, it either is a jazz club or it is not.
Exactly.
And not for nothing. I mean, regardless of whether they have a bar or not, they're still going to have naked people like climbing up on their stuff.
I know, right?
Yeah, no bar didn't really stop that. But anyway,
Yep.
All right, y'all. So enough about jibber jabber. I know we have a lot of questions, so let's go hear Rachel's and Josh's thoughts on Universal Epic Universe. Welcome to the Hub, the big topic segment of our show. And as I mentioned in the intro, Rachel had the opportunity to preview Universal Epic Universe during the travel agency preview period. And I'm very excited to hear about it, as I know we have a lot of questions about Epic Universe, as Danny, Eli, and I plan for our own experience there in early June. So I will turn it over to Rachel to guide us through this discussion. So Rachel, you got it.
Yes. All right. So we planned a last minute trip really to Universal. We found out about 2.5 weeks before we were going that we had the opportunity to potentially visit Epic Universe. And so kind of jumped into action and booked the trip so that we could get there. And it all worked out. We were all able to go. Initially, when I booked it, I wasn't sure that all 4 of us would be able to get into Epic Universe. But it turns out that hotel resort preview it never sold out. So if you were a resort guest, you were able to buy tickets for every day that they had it available. It is now publicly available. So if you are interested in going between now and May 22nd, anybody can buy tickets, preview tickets to Epic Universe right now. So something to consider if you're local in the area. I can help you out with those tickets as well. But we did have to have a resort stay to buy our tickets because we were actually the very last day of people that it was exclusive. So,
if you don't mind my asking, so seeing that y'all are basically guinea pigs, was it a full price ticket or was it?
No.
No. Okay.
No,
okay.
and I don't mind you asking. People should know. The preview tickets are discounted. So the price for Josh and the kids was about $140 per person before tax. So after tax, it ended up being close to $150 per person.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
They do make it very, very clear, though, that they are still in rehearsal. And so you should expect glitches or hiccups along the way. Like, do not expect perfection, but they reduced the price.
Okay.
Okay. But you had to stay on property. Is that what I heard?
We were the last day of people where you had to either be an annual pass holder, a Universal Visa card holder, or a resort guest in order to be in there. So those were the only people that were allowed to be in there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But they are still I've seen wait times and pictures from the more public previews they're doing now. And it seems like the crowd level's about the same. So I think they are still limiting the amount of people that can go.
I would guess they're selling out now that they have opened it up to the general public.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen that for sure, but it's possible.
Not to jump ahead, but what was the longest, speaking of crowd levels, what was the longest y'all had to wait for a ride?
That's a tough
question
to answer, because the longest we waited for a ride was about 90 minutes for Minecart Madness, but it's not really a fair wait because most of that 90 minutes was the ride actually being down.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it would have been a lot shorter of a wait had the ride been operating regularly. And so we'll talk about that more as we go through the day. But that was the longest wait, was 90 minutes. So not bad. And when things were operating properly, the waits were very short.
I don't think we waited more than 20 minutes for anything that was operating properly.
Oh, that's
That's pretty
that's
good.
really
Yeah.
good to hear.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've waited 90 minutes for Smuggler's Run, so
Yeah.
Shoot,
something new like Minecart Madness, I could tolerate that.
you could still wait 90 minutes for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Yeah, there's that too.
For sure.
I mean, we didn't even blink at waiting an hour or more for Hagrid's. So,
Mm.
Oh yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we stayed at Universal's Endless Summer Resort Dockside. Dockside has a sister resort that is Surfside. So those are two, like they're across the street from each other. They are super value resorts. So I would put these on the same level as All Stars.
Okay.
All-star type resorts. But they have two different kinds of rooms. They have your standard rooms with two queens, and then they have the 2-bedroom suites, which I think are terribly named. They are not actually 2 bedrooms. They are a sleeping area, like more of a standard room. And then you have an extra bedroom. So to
like a
me, that's a
1-bedroom-ish.
1-bedroom.
Oh.
But they call it a 2-bedroom because there's two.
Yeah, it's like a
sleeping
standard
areas.
hotel room with a bedroom attached to it.
So the
Yeah.
power of the dockside is greatly overrated.
Yes, it is. But in fairness to them, it's very cheap. So
Okay.
even for yeah, so you're paying for what you get for sure, but I just feel like they've named it incorrectly.
Was it serviced by I know you could take a boat from there to the older parks. Is there
No,
a dock
so this-
for dockside?
This one's farther out. This
Oh,
one's-
okay.
It's actually kind of like halfway to Epic Universe. So if you're interested in going to Epic, these Endless Summer resorts are closer to Epic than the original campus.
Oh,
Yeah, we had a rental car for this trip, and so for the other parks we took the bus, but we chose to drive to Epic because we wanted to get there early. And it was, I don't know, like an 8 or 9 minute drive. It couldn't have been easier.
Yeah.
I took a right out of the parking lot. I went straight, and then I took a left to get to Epic Universe.
so were the buses not running to that, or were they just not getting there early?
The buses were running to Epic Universe, but I don't like to let chance
Oh, sure. Yeah.
determine my day.
Absolutely.
We were one
I
of
like to
20
take
cars
control of
in
my
line.
moment.
Luck is
Yeah.
for losers, Rachel. That's
Yeah.
right.
Seize the moment.
I thought she was trying to be really coy.
So-
Yeah.
We were the 20th car at the parking gate.
Nice.
Oh,
that, yeah.
wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I wasn't letting a bus determine my fate on that day. But we did take the bus to City Walk when we did the other parks, and it was a 5-minute bus ride. So it's like close to everything.
It's very quick.
So help me orientate a little bit of where. So if we're in City Walk, where is the entrance to Epic Universe located at in relation to
Yeah.
the other two parks?
It's in no way attached to City Walk at all.
Oh,
No,
it's
it's not
okay.
close.
Oh, wow.
Not close
It's a
at all.
complete separate location. It's all off on its
Yeah.
own in isolation.
I would say you're probably looking at a 10 to 15 minute drive from City Walk.
Depending on traffic, yeah, that's
So
probably
there's no way to walk it from City Walk.
Oh no.
Wow. Okay, that's disappointing.
So if you're staying at Helios though, you are not close to the main campus. You got to take
Oh,
buses to the main
man.
campus.
Dang.
And then if you're at the main campus, you got to take buses to get to Epic. And then
Dockside was conveniently
is like
located
kind of in
between the two.
between. Yeah.
Huh.
So we liked Dockside just fine. It's definitely a value. Our major challenge this trip with the hotel and the parks really was that there was a gigantic conference of high school students there.
Oh boy.
It's called DECA.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar
DECA?
with it. DECA. Yeah, it was like a DECA conference. I'm talking about like tens of thousands of high school students.
I think we had seen there were like 25,000.
That was just the
high school
Texas
students there.
people. It was 25,000 from Texas.
My God.
I don't know. Maybe that was their full membership. I'm not sure, but it was crazy. And the Texas contingency was staying at Dockside. So there was a lot of Texas kids in my hotel.
They were like roping people.
Yeah. They all had cowboy hats. It was like crazy. But what I'll say is that most of the crowds at Universal that while we were there were those kids. There was like nobody else there.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
wow.
So,
Oh, wow.
Like when we talk about things, it is good to keep in mind that we were there at an extremely low crowd level time. Like most of the time, the wait for Hagrid's was an hour or less.
Oh, nice.
We got stuck waiting for Velocicoaster, but it was going to be a 30-minute wait.
God, that's
And we
not
went in
bad.
the middle of the day. Like this was a very low crowd time at Universal. So I just think that's important to preface the trip report with was that we were not there at a busy time.
Our last day, Wednesday, we waited I don't think we waited really for anything. And that was the day the conference had left. and the crowds were so low. We walked on to almost anything. I think Velocicoaster was a 20-minute wait that day. Might have been like 30.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Wow. A major theme park that still has slow times.
That's great.
Yes. Yeah. And we had a good time at the other two parks. I don't want to spend a lot of time on the old parks, but I do want to just like go through it really quick. So we did Harry Potter mostly the first day, and then a little bit of the Dr. Seuss land. And that Dr. Seuss land is in real disrepair, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
It looks terrible. And just as a larger thought, if Universal wants to become a full week destination, which I think is their goal with Epic Universe, they need to do some TLC on those other parks. Those other parks are in rough shape if you are outside of Jurassic Park or Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm. We talked
the
about
entire
that,
left side of Islands of Adventure is completely ignorable.
Yeah.
You've got the Marvel, the comic strip area, and like the King Kong, like that stuff is ignorable.
Exactly.
Completely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Except for Spider-Man, but yeah, you're right. I mean, you just...
Yeah,
I mean, Spider-Man's fine, I guess, but it's...
Yeah, they did. It was nice. We wrote it. It was good.
Yeah, and then he comes out and visits you. Yeah, I took a picture with him.
Twip.
Yeah.
But we spent a lot of time in the Harry Potter parks, and those are still wonderful. Like everything there is great. They're still killing it with the Harry Potter stuff. Velocicoaster was great. We did buy the second generation wands. So if people are interested in the second generation wands, they're very cool. I actually think it's worth buying a second generation wand if you haven't gotten one.
The second generation wands are also on sale at the older parks?
Yes.
Oh,
they work at the older parks. So
they work at the older parks
they
too, yeah.
redid the wand experiences at the older parks so that they have more interactive opportunities with these second generation wands.
Nice.
And so now instead of it just being like going to the window and doing spells, they have like a whole sequence of it kind of reminded me of Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. There's like a whole adventure in every park. And then it's not just one, they have multiple adventures in every park that you can pick from. So it's like, do you want to do Defense Against the Dark Arts? Do you want to do Quidditch? Do you want to do like there's a bunch of different stuff.
I think a better comparison actually is what Disney tried to do with the data pad in Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it never really caught on.
Yeah.
I think Universal sort of nailed it with the second gen wands and the quests that you do there. The data pad was always kind of like random and okay, what do I do now? Where do I go? And what does this mean? The second gen wand seemed just like really clear. This is your mission. This is your quest. Oh, you've completed that mission. Here's what happened. I don't know. It seemed like a more complete experience than what Disney did with the data pads.
Okay.
Well, what they've done is they've added screens into the windows, like very small ones on the side that give you a new spell. So you'll do the spell that's like for the regular window that you would have done before. But then for the second generation ones, you get like a second or a third task to do at that same window. And then you unlock something else in the window that's interactive, like a game or a task, or you have to trace something with your wand or complete some other mission in that same window. And then it sends you to the next window and you go do that. And
you said there's a little screen in the window that teaches you this?
It looks like a book, yeah, but there's like a second in like the lower left-hand corner usually that the book will come alive and give you instructions for your adventure if you have the second generation wand.
Oh, wow.
That is nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. And they added some new stuff too. There was, particular, do you guys remember Nocturne Alley?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there was a stairwell that was kind of unused. I don't know if it was like a cast thing or what, but they've now like sort of blocked it off and added a scrim. And there's a whole Defense Against the Dark Arts, like Dementor task that happens there. And they use projection technology and it looks incredible. And it's like the finale of one of the adventures at Diagon Alley. And I felt really bad because we were waiting in line to do it. And so the two people ahead of us did the Dementor thing, whatever. And then the people that were next up only had the first generation wand. And so they tried to do the spell and nothing happened. And a cast member, or they call them team members there. The team member came up and they were like, I'm sorry, you don't have the right wand. And so you're going to have to go over there.
That's what I was thinking. If you got a first generation one.
You got to have the fancy wand.
Your wand's not
Wand
good enough
shaming.
for this magic.
They should have an impulse buy cart right next to it.
Yeah,
It's like, here, for this price.
Yes, take your welfare wand out of here.
There you
Let's
go.
get this
What
stuff.
they need to do do is like a trade in your old wand here for 50.
Yeah. Get a discount.
A buyback program.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. A buyback one program.
Yes.
We did it, but what we noticed was when you buy your second generation wand in the app, you like connect it and you tell it like what house you're in, and you pick your Patronus and you pick your like your icon thing that should. Anyway, your Patronus shows up when you're fighting the Dementor. It's like our.
I didn't know any of this.
The
What
other one we
Patronus
saw.
did you pick?
Oh, I picked a Phoenix.
Oh, come on, Jesus.
I'm a Gryffindor.
What house did you pick?
Gryffindor. I know he's
What
really.
what would you pick, Jeff?
Yeah, I was gonna say Ravenclaw.
Absolutely, Danny.
Look like a Ravenclaw man.
I was wearing the Ravenclaw shirt.
Now, so when you're standing there in line, because that was one of the things I love Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, but when you're 3 to 4 people deep in line and you're watching everyone just kind of do the exact same thing that you're about to do, it kind of cheapens the experience. Did you find it like that, or did it alternate at all?
A little bit. It does change. The other thing too is that not everybody's doing the same adventure as you.
Okay.
And so if they're doing a different adventure, they might be at the same window, but something totally different happens.
Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, but if you are behind someone who's doing the same adventure, you do kind of see it before you do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was one thing I didn't like about Sorcerers is that, you would watch it happen 4 times before you got to do it. And by that point, you were like, eh.
That's like the Pirates thing.
Then it kills it if you're
Yeah.
invested in it. That makes sense.
But sometimes it wouldn't do that. Or sometimes it was different. It depended on the adventure people were doing. But
Better have that second generation wand though. You get no experience and you get the first generation.
First gen shame.
yes. So I thought that was particularly cool. It was butterbeer season, so we got some special butterbeer treats. The ice lolly was it's just a popsicle, but the butterbeer popsicle was a standout in the butterbeer season treats.
It's my favorite version of butterbeer.
Well, what's butterbeer season?
Is that like Oktoberfest?
It's like May, March to May. They call it butterbeer season.
I didn't know.
It's a marketing scheme.
Oh, that's when the butterbeer is most ripe.
Yes, most ripe. So we did some of the butterbeer season treats, and that was pretty much it. We rode Velocicoaster, but we did get stuck waiting for it because weather came through. And so we ended up not getting to ride that day, but they gave us the special, you could use the Ruby Pass. They gave us special express passes to come back a different day. And we just used them on Hagrid's because like we said, that next day we came back, there was no wait for anything except Hagrid's. So we used it there.
Nice.
Typically their express passes that they give you, they exclude Hagrid's and the Velocicoaster, I think.
No, Velocicoaster's on express pass now.
Right, but when they hand you the passes, they're
we're
those
sorry
paper passes that they hand you as compensation for something.
It usually
they typically exclude Velocicoaster and Hagrid's. This one, the red one, if you get that, is like the keys to the kingdom. You can go on absolutely anything.
Oh, I have heard there's a gold one now at Epic Universe that includes everything at Epic Universe. Including ministry. Yeah, including ministry.
How do you get that?
it if ministry breaks down while you're
got to
on
get
it.
the 3rd generation wand to get that.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I actually have read a couple of accounts of people who had posted that it broke down while they were on it, and the cast members were like, sorry, we're in rehearsal. Tough luck.
I heard about the gold pass.
Have something.
And get a better wand.
Yeah.
Here's
we told you we were working on stuff.
Enjoy this butterbeer treat.
Yeah. We in season.
That was kind of that for the other parks.
Okay.
We ate some good stuff. We had our plowman's platter, like I've been talking about.
There you go.
Nice.
Was it good? Was it everything you?
It's fantastic.
Okay.
It's fantastic every time. We went to Cowfish. We had the fire whiskeys that we love. So we did all the old things on those other 2 days.
Fire whiskey and the Strongbow cider.
Yes.
Fire whiskey.
All right. Let's get to the good stuff, though.
It's basically Fireball. guys.
Yeah, it's
Fireball. Okay.
It's a cinnamon whiskey, but they'll drop a shot of it in a Strongbow cider.
All right. Epic Universe. I do want to say that this trip report is going to contain spoilers. So if you do not want to hear any spoilers for Epic Universe, this is not the time to listen to this episode. Come on back after you've seen it. But I am hoping to take full liberty to tell you all the things. Is that okay with you guys?
Spoil
That's
away.
wait. I should hit the spoiler bump real quick.
Yeah, hit the
to give
spoiler
the
bump.
listeners
You
one
warned
last
them.
chance to back out. Here you go. Spoilers. All right, let her rip.
All right.
And we're out of time. It's an hour.
I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Yeah.
Oh, it's usually used during our movie reviews. Yeah.
Reviews will do
Yeah.
it. He does the
Yeah.
jazz hands. I forget. I just like to sing it with him.
Yeah. I appreciate this.
All
All
right.
right.
So
What we got?
We got to go for early entry because we were resort guests. And you all will get to if you stay at a Universal Resort. Although I don't think you guys are staying at a Universal Resort, right?
No, we're staying off property, as they say.
Well,
We're hybrids.
Well, Kevin got a free room with the DVC.
yeah,
points
what
that-
can you do?
Yeah.
Free room. But if you are staying on property, you do get in an hour early. And for us, early entry started at 10 a.m. But, you know, that's not good enough for me. So we left our hotel, which was 15 minutes away, at 8 o'clock sharp. And we got to the parking gate at around 8:15.
Did you make the kids sleep in their clothes?
No, I didn't do that. But
Okay.
This is what it's like living with her.
8:15. We're doing this, but
I was so chill the other 2 days, but Epic Universe Day, I wasn't messing around. Like, we were gonna get that done.
Yes, ma'am.
Maximum necessity.
The whip crack that day.
That's because Rachel is the as she stated.
This
She
is
was
why
like-
she is so hard to beat in fantasy football.
No kidding.
She's epic.
It's like, we tired. Now, that's nonsense on a napkin. 8:15.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We're going.
We're going.
It was actually funny. The next morning after, we were at Starbucks and we were just started talking to a woman. There was a Starbucks in the lobby of the dockside. And we were talking to a woman and she's like, oh, what have you been up to? And we said, oh, we went to Epic yesterday. And she goes, oh, I'm going to Epic today. And I like immediately look at my watch and it's like 9:15. I was like, girl, why are you here? Why are you talking to me at 9:15? Get out of here. Run. What are you doing?
Run, don't walk.
Yeah.
The next statement was pack your patient pants and get there.
So we got to the parking lot around 8:15. They opened the parking gates at 8:30.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So we got through parking at 8:30. Something to note, I don't know if the rate is going to change, but the rate for parking was $32. We didn't have to pay the money for parking, but if you are going without like a resort reservation or you don't have parking included, $32 was the parking fee.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll probably
So-
Uber over there. So
Keep that in mind. Yeah.
They do also, and I don't know the cost associated with it, but they do also have a valet parking option. So you can, as you're pulling up to the park, it might have even been like half a mile before the parking entrance. There was a turn off for the valet parking. So you get out obviously significantly closer to the gate of the park, but you have to pay for valet.
$64.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Another option for you guys too, if you're going to Uber over there, is you may want to think about one of the hotels. So Stella Nova is one of the more value. It's like a prime value resort, and it has a walking path to Epic Universe. It doesn't walk into the park like Helios, but it does walk like to where the buses let off. So if you got dropped off at Stella Nova, you would be able to walk to the park. And then the other option would be if you booked a breakfast at Helios.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Rachel, can you book us a breakfast for Helium?
Yeah, we want to go to.
What time are you guys willing to get up? Because that's
I know.
Well, for that day.
For that day, we're gonna get up early. It's gonna be
Okay.
difficult.
Well, I guess it depends on the hours, right? Because I mean, if they, it sounds like they open at 11 o'clock for the previews, but I don't know what time they open for regular guests during regular operations.
It was 11 o'clock for regular guests, and then it was 10 for early entry.
But do you think it'll be like that in June, or it'll be like
I see what you're
9 or
saying.
10?
No, I think they'll extend the hours.
Yeah, because we're getting in that summer season. I'd be surprised if they let it open it that late.
That's probably true.
Well, maybe we can pool our resources and get like a crappy room somewhere and call ourselves a resort guest that day.
That's true. You could
Like
do
a
that too.
$99 room. There's got to be what's their Pops entry?
It's Dockside. I would stay at Dockside or Surfside and in a standard room, and it would be in that range, like the 120, 130 range.
Just a thought.
Good idea.
All right. So that's the parking lot situation. We got in, we parked. They are going to have VIP parking that is covered, which is really cool. And they're covered by solar panels. So sort of like multi-benefit parking situation.
It's actually very cool as you walk through the parking lot. The VIP parking and the handicap accessibility parking is all in a separate area, very close to the gates, and it's all going to be under cover of a solar panel array. So the car stays cool and they're generating energy.
Nice.
It's a pretty cool look as you're walking in.
Yeah. It
probably
reminds
do
me of a Universe of Energy.
That's
They used to do
exactly what I
that.
was thinking.
Well, wait, how much is VIP parking?
Looks like prime parking is $50.
Isn't that close to like Disney parking prices?
Well,
These like
it's
40
close to prime parking at Disney. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But is Prime VIP, or you need to be Optimus Prime for that?
I think that VIP is ballet, but I'm not sure.
Roll out.
Yeah,
Your car's standing up waiting for you. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's why they charge them.
Yeah, I would pay for that.
I said we were the front row of not fancy parking. So.
Yeah.
Still, that's pretty
Oh,
good.
that's pretty good. You're able to walk.
Yeah, it was a long walk though.
Well, and that was the interesting thing to me is, the parking lot is expansive and it doesn't look like they're set up for parking trams at all. So if you are far away, if you arrive late and you're far back in the parking lot, prepare to walk. And Rachel, I don't know if you saw anything. I didn't notice anything that looked like driving lanes for parking trams.
No, I agree.
I think it's completely a walking parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, which is another argument for getting there early if you don't want to waste all of your energy walking to the park first thing in the morning. Get there early so you can park closer.
Okay.
Wow, that's good advice.
9:00, they let us through security and they let us through tickets shortly after that. And then the only things open for early entry are Super Nintendo World and Stardust Racers. And so we decided to go to Super Nintendo World, which at the time was a great choice because Stardust Racers was closed. So it ended up working. It was like delayed.
It was the only choice.
It was the only choice. When we had to line up between like 9:15 and right around 10:00. Like they really did kind of hold us right outside Super Nintendo World until 10:00. But what you could do was go to a gift shop, of course. And so what I did was I bought the Power Up Band while we were waiting to get into the land so that we could get it all linked to the app and get it on my son's little wrist before we got into Super Nintendo World.
Nice.
Smart.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So we did that. That was $45 plus tax.
This was a divide and conquer, which is always a good idea. I took the kids with me. We went and followed the crowd to get our spot in line for when they open the gates. Rachel said, take the kids. And I thought she was just taking pictures because that's what she does, travel agent.
I did take some pictures too.
Vlogging, all of that stuff. And then she shows up with a power band. So if you have two people and kids, one parent takes the kids, get in line, the other parent go buy the power band, and then you get to just say, oh, excuse me, I'm meeting my family, and skip the line and get in with them. So
yeah. I wasn't that far behind you, though. I was pretty speedy.
Well, it was probably 5 minutes or so.
This would also be something that you could probably solve easily now, because now that it's open to everybody, a lot of the hotels are selling the Power Up Bands at the hotels. But they weren't doing it when we were there. You could only get it at Epic Universe when we were there. Otherwise, I would have bought it ahead of time instead of wasting
You
my
could
time.
check in and then get it all set up.
Yeah,
and then before,
I would recommend getting it at your hotel if you can. But if you can't get it at your hotel, they have them right at the gift shop when you walk in, and you can grab it before you get through for rope drop. So then they did rope drop. We went into Super Nintendo. I actually thought that Super Nintendo was the very best reveal of the day. Josh, do you agree? You're nodding your head.
So first of all, I love Mario. I grew up on Mario. Mario is fantastic. And you go through a warp pipe to get into the land. And then you go up a big escalator. And the whole time you're going up the escalator, you're hearing that noise that they play when Mario goes through a warp pipe.
Yeah.
And, I think our kids were doing something difficult, and I was annoyed and like talking to Rachel and arguing, and we got to the top of the escalator everywhere. And literally everything stopped, and I just looked ahead and said, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like all of the frustration that I was dealing with in that moment were gone. It was like warping into a video game.
It was incredible.
Super Mario World is, spoiler, I guess, for later on. But if we're talking about immersive theming or just initial reveal, Super Nintendo is hands down the most incredible reveal. I think, Rachel, I likened this to, and I don't know if this affected anyone else like it did for me, Galaxy's Edge, when you kind of come around the corner and there is the life-size Millennium Falcon, and it's I am now in my childhood movie experience. It was that, but even better.
Nice.
It's incredible. You really are in the middle of the movie, or not movie, the video game.
The video game.
I was thinking Tree of Life as one of the best unveilings, but I
it's
forgot.
a similar setup where you go up and then you come down. Yeah,
and
I can
also,
see that.
Whoa, it's right there in front of me, and I never even saw
But the cool thing is, from the videos I've seen, it's like when you get that reveal, it looks like all the kinetic energy is like in your face. Is that what y'all experience?
There's like little Goombas running by, and Yoshi's moving,
and there's swamps are going up and down, and the music is playing, and it's incredible. I mean,
it is incredible.
It is the Super Nintendo reveal when you go out that warp pipe is unbeatable from any.
Unbeatable. It's so good.
Beautiful. So did you grab the power band from your son Josh and start running around punching like? Did Dad Josh disappear and 9-year-old Josh took over?
We were running for Minecart Madness, so I did not do that. I was a good parent, and I just picked him up and said, "You can play with that later, son. We're going." That's it.
Yeah. What I will say is, you need to be careful because you go up this escalator, you have this amazing reveal, but everybody's trying to run to the attractions. And to get to Minecart Madness, you have to go down some stairs. And there's like tons of people and everyone's running and you got your like kids and all this. And you're like trying to look around, but you're also trying to not fall down these stairs. And so that was like a lot in that moment.
Sounds dangerous.
Sounds like the dance
it does sound a little dangerous.
That is true. There is a lot of up and down in the Super Nintendo area.
I can see that.
Multiple levels of things. So there's a lot of up and down on stairs and stuff.
I was curious about that. Is it set up like the land where it's like they have like a set of escalators and then like a set of stairs? You go down one and up the other? Okay.
Yes. So you go up the escalator, down the stairs.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes.
There are ADA elevators.
There are.
You have to go like around a corner and you can get the ADA elevators to go down if you need them.
Okay. Good to know. All right.
So we went to the back of the land. And then if you go out the back of the land, you get to Donkey Kong Country. And so we went into Donkey Kong Country. Also a really cool reveal. It's like a totally different space because you're in a different video game. And so it feels very different in there. And so we went in and we went straight to Minecart Madness. It was open. We got through a bunch of the queue. There's like places to bump your power up band in the queue and make things happen. And so our son was like super pumped on that. And we're just like walking through. We get all the way to like very close to the where they load the trains. And the attraction was down.
Oh.
Yeah. And so here's like my number one tip. And it's the thing we did wrong. And it's the thing I would have done different. We committed too hard. So like this went down and we stayed because I could like see the load. And I was like, this is going to come back up and we're going to be right on. We're never going to have a shorter wait than this. There's nothing else open really except for this land and one other thing. Like we're just going to stay. And we should have left.
We made this mistake more than once.
Yeah, we did it more than once, but we should have left. Every time they said the ride is down, we should have bailed.
Because we could have left and gone over to the Mario Kart Bowser's Palace
challenge or something. Yeah.
I think it was a 30-minute wait at that point. And so we could have left Donkey Kong while it was down and gone over to ride the Mario Kart ride.
Even if it had been a 60-minute wait, we would have been better off.
How long was your wait while it was down?
So we waited an hour and a half for this thing to come back up.
Okay.
The problem is that it ended up becoming a compounding problem because when you wait 10 minutes more, you tell yourself you can wait 10 minutes more. And then you wait 10 minutes more and you can wait 10 minutes more. And you end up staying there and convincing yourself that it's going to be soon.
And the other problem is while you're doing that, the lines for the other stuff are building up and
building. And so now you feel like you don't have options.
We could just wait this out a little bit longer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
damn.
Wow. Good to know. Something to keep in mind for our trip.
If you're at Epic Universe during this theatrical or technical
or even when they first open, they might still have these problems.
If a ride goes down and there's something else open nearby that you're interested in, just bail and go.
Do it.
So are they making announcements and letting y'all know that things are that it's broken? How did y'all know?
They told you. They told us it was down. I found the language of their announcements to be a little gaslighting. You know, they were prematurely thanking me for my patience and understanding.
Brief.
I hate that.
This is a brief delay. It's like you actually have no idea. But they were. What do you think, Rachel? A 5-minute loop. They would put announcements up. We're still under a delay. You know, things like that. So you know that it's not running, but you don't know how long it's going to be.
Right.
Which they don't necessarily know what's wrong.
The other thing was, and we're going to get into this, but the other thing was at 10:45, I had thought that there was going to be a Ministry of Magic virtual queue drop. And we had good Wi-Fi in that line. And so I was like, well, we're staying because worst case scenario, I'm getting that virtual queue. And so we're going to stay at least until then so we don't end up in bad Wi-Fi and we can't get that. So we got kind of messed up in that minecart madness. And we got to a point where I was ready to bail. And I went up and talked to a cast member I keep saying that. They're team members.
Team members.
I talked to a team member. And at that point, the team member was like, we're actually about ready to get going. And so then we stayed longer because they really were, they had about 15 minutes of testing left to do. And then we did get on it. So
I was saying, in fairness to that team member, when he
was right.
Almost, within a couple minutes of him saying that, we started to see the test cars going because, they have to test so many cars before they can let people go on.
Right.
And, within a few minutes of him saying that, we started to see the test cars go.
They also let us out to go, so Sam and I went out to go to the bathroom. And this is a really great time to talk about the bathrooms. The bathrooms are the underwater Super Mario.
Oh, is the music playing?
And they play underwater music in the bathrooms. It's so good.
I'm going to that bathroom.
So good. You have to go to the bathroom. It was so good.
That's the first place I'm visiting.
Yeah. So Sam and I we left the line. We went to the bathroom. We did a couple of, I'm not getting right back in line. I know it's not going. So Sam and I did a couple of the power up things while we were out there, and we got the Donkey Kong sundae from the bubbly barrel with the banana soft serve and the pineapple soda and the caramel corn. And so I brought that back to the family in line. And so we did some of that stuff while we were in line. But
nice.
Josh, what did you think of the sundae from Donkey Kong?
It was fine. I mean, it was, I don't know. I trend more towards savory foods myself. So, I'm never going to a place specifically looking for a dessert or an ice cream. I mean, it was good. The caramel corn was good. The waffle cone was good. The soda, it was like a pineapple Fanta. I had a couple of bites of everything all together. If you really love dessert and you love those flavors, get it. It was very good. It's not what I gravitate toward.
Was that thing in the barrel that I've been seeing?
We didn't pay extra for the barrel.
Oh, so that, okay.
It was cheaper if you didn't buy the barrel. I think it was
you can get it in a regular plastic cup, or you can get the
souvenir mug. Okay, that's how they're pushing it.
It was like 13 without the barrel and 20 with the barrel. And I was like, I do not want to pay more than $13 for ice cream. Like, gross.
I'm going to say it was as good as any Dole Whip treat you can get at Disney.
Oh, I thought it was better. Sure. Yeah, I thought it was better than Dole Whip at Disney.
Okay.
So then we got on the ride. Thank goodness. And so we get on the ride. We get in the minecart train. What did you think of the ride, Josh?
I thought it was fun.
It was fun. Yeah.
It's not a ride that's worth, in my opinion, and I am someone that goes on rides for thrill. And so it's not a thrill ride. It's fun. The illusions of jumping the track, I think, have been overstated.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's made pretty obvious very early on in the queue that your car isn't actually on the track that you're seeing. You can see the arm and everything else.
Bad show.
So the illusion kind of gets ruined early on in the queue. It's a fun family coaster. I actually can't even come up with a good comparison to anything that Disney has.
It's not like a wild mouse kind of thing, or what's that? That the thing in Dinosaur Land, the thing that we got stuck on that we didn't like.
Oh, Primeval World.
Primeval World, like where it's like
no, it's nothing like Primeval World.
Really
Primeval World makes me want to throw up.
This is this is like a real kiddie coaster.
Oh, okay.
It is. Yeah, it's fun for a family. If you're an adult thrill seeker who wants to go to a park and ride thrill rides, it's not worth your time unless you love Mario and you love Donkey Kong and you want to say, I've been on that ride. It's a good experience. I don't think it's worth a very long wait. And every time I've looked, it's been consistently the longest wait in the park.
It's a very slow load because it's only four people in a cart.
Ooh,
4 people.
Hey, my whole family can't even fit.
Yeah.
And it's a quick ride too. It's not like it's a long ride. It was, a minute and a half, 2 minutes maybe.
It's like Tron.
I know, that's actually pretty long though. It's longer than Tron. Longer than Tron.
It felt short to me.
That's wild if it's longer than
All right,
Tron.
so for comp's sake.
It is longer than Tron.
Yeah.
For comp's sake, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or Minecart?
Oh, Mine Train.
Seven Dwarfs, 100%.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Tron.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would ride Seven
Tron
Dwarfs
for sure.
any day.
This is a kiddie. It's really a kiddie coaster.
So Great Goof Teeny kind of level of a coaster.
Yes.
Ooh.
This is more fun than Gooftini, I think.
Yeah, it's better than Barnstormer.
Well,
but
yeah, no, I wasn't saying like I would assume it'd be better,
like
but
that
yeah.
level of thrill.
But
yeah.
it's not.
So that level
in
of
between
thrill,
is
I
what
mean,
you're saying.
it sounds like we won't be in pain though writing this.
No.
Oh, it is. It is actually like a little jerky. Yeah.
Never mind.
Because you're on the end of a boom, so I was wondering about that. If you feel the boomness,
For you tall people, there's not a lot of room in those cars. Like I think that was there were a couple of rides, and I think that was one of them where Rachel and I, who are short people, were like, "Ooh, that was a little uncomfortable."
Oh no!
So is the whole gimmick the boom that you're jumping the track to? Is there anything else?
That's
to see
it.
in there? That's
No.
pretty much.
There's
it.
like 3 or 4 times where it's supposed to look like you're jumping the track, which is, I mean, it's a cool idea and it's cool technology, but you can very clearly see the track below you.
Yeah.
So, the illusion isn't quite there. Though I appreciate the effort to create that, and for kids who are, maybe they're a little lower in the car, so they can't see down.
Even our kids, though, they were not thrilled with it. They said it was fun.
But yeah, they didn't love it. They didn't want to do it again. They were just like, yeah, that was fine.
Dang, the kid didn't want to go on a roller
a
coaster.
bummer.
Wow,
yeah,
that says a lot.
I was worried about that because it's like from videos I've seen, it's like you can obviously see the dang crack below.
You can. And Josh and I were in the back.
Yo, in the back.
I remember I said, I was like, oh, maybe if you're not in the front seat, it'll look better.
Didn't matter.
No, we were in the back car.
Oh,
yeah.
And like you can see that the wheels on the car aren't even moving. As you watch the trains in front of you loading, you can see that the wheels aren't even turning.
Yeah.
Oh man,
a little bit of a bummer. So I would say that one, like if it's a short wait, go for it. But if not, you're probably fine just enjoying Donkey Kong Country. Like it's cool to walk in the area, but you don't need to do anything else.
Okay.
and they have drums you could play, right?
They do.
I was going to say, Kevin, there's a really fun drum challenge.
Hey, what was I saw that? Like that was with the rhino and stuff. Is that the one?
Yeah, so there's it's like and this is reminiscent of on the Nintendo Switch Mario Party. There's a Donkey Kong mini game where you have to play the same drum beat that Donkey Kong is playing. And it's very similar to that. I was unfortunately, the guy told me on drums that were sort of malfunctioning.
Oh.
And so what I was hitting, it wasn't registering the beat.
Oh.
Because like, you're doing it right. It's just these drums don't work. But yeah, there's
you would have nailed
a drum
it. Yeah.
beat that plays and you have to match the drum pattern. And then there's like an animatronic that comes out, and when you get the beat right for long enough, there's a sort of a little surprise animatronic that comes out and celebrates. And it's
Our daughter
just a fun little. It's just a little fun game. Yeah, she was on different drums than I was.
All right.
Yeah, she was on different drums. That's true. So we had a good time in Donkey Kong Country, but I would skip the ride if you don't have a short wait. What was great was that Wi-Fi. So I did. While we were
That's your
in the line.
takeaway.
While we were in the
Great
line.
Wi-Fi. They've got that connectivity down.
Yes.
That was
They got
fresh.
it.
While we were in the line, I was able to get a virtual queue for Battle at the Ministry, which is the Harry Potter ride. You can only ride it with virtual queue right now. And we were in a line of hundreds of people, and we're all in the app. Like literally everyone around me is in that app, like toggling back and forth and clicking on times and whatever. And I was the only one in that line that shouted and said, I got one.
Oh wow.
And they all
Like,
looked at
that's
you
how-
like,
I know.
And
Yeah.
Rachel was like, "Come get it."
The woman right behind me was like, what did you do? I was like, I don't know.
I whispered sweet nothings.
What I will say is my number one tip. I have 2 tips. One tip is to, when you click on a time, it's going to tell you that it's no longer available. Keep clicking on it.
Okay.
Like, don't believe it. Just
Don't take
keep
no for an
clicking on
answer.
it. Yeah. Don't take no for an answer.
Don't
You
stop
just keep
believing.
going.
No retreat, no surrender.
No does not always mean no.
That's
It
right.
does not mean
Only
no.
in the parks. Yeah.
Don't get out of the screen. Don't refresh. You just keep clicking on that time until it gives you what you want.
Okay.
And so that's what I did. The other tip I have is there's like a million videos online of people doing this. Watch some videos, because I watched videos and that was how I knew to not take no for an answer. And so I just kept clicking on times, and eventually we got one, which was
All
great.
right, so we're
Nice.
gonna have to do that. I'm assuming.
Probably.
They're
Yeah.
not
I
the
think
three
it's
of
be
us.
virtual queue
Yeah.
for a while.
I'm sure I'm sure they'll be doing that
And
up
it's
until the way they open.
within the Universal app.
Yes, it's in the Universal app.
I have the
Gotcha.
app. Okay.
Me too.
Yeah. So watch some videos. All right. So after we did Donkey Kong, we did the playing in the lands, we did the drumming thing, and more of the, question mark boxes and all that jazz. We actually left the land after that. And I was correct that my son's desire to continue playing in there was going to drive me insane. I did lose my patience with him as we were trying to leave, because we said one more thing and then he did one more thing and then he still didn't want to leave the land. And I really I snapped. I
Bruh.
But what I want to get across from that is that they have done such a good job with the interactivity in here, and we could have spent hours letting him run around and do all this stuff. Like there was so much. We didn't even scratch the surface of the power up band stuff.
Okay.
We could have spent half a day in there.
He could have spent half a day.
He could have spent half a day.
We did find Toad flipping us off, which is
I was going to ask.
We did.
I don't know who is responsible for putting that in there and what they thought they were doing, but there is nothing you can think other than Toad is giving you the double bird.
Yeah. Wow. Well, for people who haven't seen it online, you can find it online. But there is a part of the land where if you press your power up band to the little Mario symbol, Toad shows up on the wall and flips you off with both hands. And I don't know why they did that. I'm happy they did. It was kind of funny. My kids laughed so hard. Like you'd think that Toad like farted in their face, but they were beside themselves. They thought it was so funny.
Maybe the Nintendo people thought it was like a joke. It was like, oh no, this is very serious Japanese thing.
This is good.
This is a good thing. Oh, look at that. Look, Josh is showing us the flipping.
Yeah.
No, never mind. Forget my theory.
Yeah.
There's just nothing.
They need a word balloon next to it.
I love you.
No, it says, I got your parents $45.
Yes.
That's exactly it. Universal is really pumped.
Yeah, there's like 2 generation wide right there. That's it.
We did, just to finish up this land and kind of keep everything together, we did come back later in the evening to do Bowser's Challenge Mario Kart.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
It was a complete walk-on when we got there.
Oh, wow.
There was no wait at all. The queue is incredible, though. So it is worth like seeing the queue. The queue feels like you're right in a Mario Kart game. You get to the like kind of gathering place before they put you into the carts themselves. And it's like all the characters' uniforms are on hangers and they have like their lockers. And it was so cool.
Like as you're walking through, you go through libraries and they've got all of these books and everything. And Rachel, you pointed this out. My favorite book title was Over the Edge, The Story of Rainbow Road, which if you've ever played Mario Kart and you've ever been on Rainbow Road.
That's all I've done. That's all I do.
So funny.
All it takes is the wrong turtle.
Yeah.
They did a great job with that queue. And the ride is very cool. It's the same ride as in California. So if you've done it in California, it's the same thing.
Okay.
But I thought it was immersive. It uses augmented reality. So you put on a visor and you're seeing things that aren't there, but you're also seeing things that are there at the same time. And that's very cool. You go through the boxes and you get items and you hit the buttons and you hit shells towards other characters that are in front of you and you collect coins. You can sync up your power up band. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. You can tap the power band.
Those coins, the coins that you get on the car will then go into the app on your mission.
Yeah. So this was
just
cool.
The exterior of it too, as you walk in, just the facade that they built is
very cool.
Bowser's Castle. It looks like Bowser's Castle.
That's awesome.
I like Bowser.
However, they're just like the coloring and whatever materials they use to construct this whole thing really genuinely looks like the video game. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is really great. So if I had to pick in this land, I would do Bowser's Challenge. What would you do, Josh?
Oh, absolutely. I would do Bowser's Challenge. I mean, we didn't do Yoshi's thing.
No, but I've heard that's a kid ride.
But it is. Yeah, I've read that it's like a people mover type kid ride with some interactive elements.
Yeah,
so
definitely
with the power up band.
Thing,
Yeah.
And if they had adult drinks, you probably would let your son play around in that park for half a day.
They didn't. Yeah, they did not that I saw have.
Yeah, I remember that. About
I thought you were going to say we'd let our son have an adult drink.
No, we would not do that. But we would
not do that.
Rachel shut that down real fast.
Yeah,
that kid would be like, "No, Mom, I'm staying here. The sun's going to explode, and I'm going to get every coin in this land. I have to."
He would have.
Oh, I hear that.
But yeah, that was Super Nintendo. So I thought it was great. We could have easily spent a half a day there. We didn't.
Our son, who is 8 years old and loves video games, could have spent an entire day just running around that place. I mean, it really is incredible.
That's great.
That's
Me,
awesome.
who is 40 years old and loves Mario, could have spent way more time in there.
I was going to say,
I can see that.
You imagine that if that park had came out while we were at the height of playing Nintendo, we'd have lost our minds. I can't blame him.
It grew up playing those Mario video games. I mean, I said it earlier. My reaction when we came out of that warp pipe, seeing this world, was like, it's unbelievable. It is easily, and I guess this is a spoiler for the rest of the park, but it's easily just the most incredible, the most impressive park reveal when you walk through a gate and kind of see your first view of the land.
So if you could spend an hour more in any one of the lands, it would have been Mario, huh?
That's tough. Based on how we toured this park, because we wanted to see everything, it's tough to say which one I would have spent more time in, because I know there's stuff we missed in every one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny. It's like hearing the rumors. I guarantee if they expand to add Zelda, the Legend of Zelda series, that
we did see the Link and Ganondorf stained windows.
Oh, nice.
So.
There's a gift shop in Celestial Park.
Ooh,
we did that.
Man, that would be really cool.
So is that just rumor or is that true? We just don't know what else they're planning.
I think it's just like Disney. Like, yeah, they're planning other stuff, but it's all on a napkin and blue sky, and we'll see.
Yeah, the only thing I've ever heard about a phase 2, Josh, was Dark Universe, and there's an expansion pad there, and there's talk of a Creature from the Black Lagoon boat ride. That's the only thing I've heard, but that's just because that's the only park that I've really kind of gravitated towards. I've kind of purposely avoided the other parks because I wanted that to be a spoiler, but I couldn't wait for Dark Universe. I had to find out everything.
I mean, a given would have to be Simon Belmont from Castlevania. I mean, that meshes Dark Universe.
I love that.
I was thinking Castlevania. And like, oh man, Legend of Zelda, Castlevania, but I'm like, ooh, would Castlevania help counteract what they're doing with monsters?
Well, so the next land that we visited was actually Dark Universe, but should we save that for next week?
Sure, why not?
Absolutely.
Let's do that.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that. There's just so much happening with Super Nintendo World and where they can expand it.
Lots you can take.
And in Metroid World, that'd be awesome.
Don't play with me, Kevin.
Contra Shooting Gallery.
That's mine.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, so stay tuned for the next episode. We'll talk about Dark Universe. Let us know if you have any questions. We're about and get in touch with us, and we're about to let you know how to do that in just a little bit. Well, y'all, we hope you enjoyed hearing this initial first stories of Universal Epic Universe. Look, if you want to learn more about us, the Magic Our Way podcast, follow us on any social media platform. Also, if you want to get in touch with us to ask your questions about Universal Epic Universe or state any kind of opinions if you've experienced it, you can do so through the following ways. First of all, shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com or call or send us a text message at 1-815-MOWEEKEND. That is 1-815-
No weekend.
669-4226. And of course, we have a couple people do things outside of the podcast. First of all, we got Eli does things with comics. What you got, sir?
Oh, yes, sir. As always, when you go out there on the internet, ivorycomics.com, appreciate the support there. When you go and pay that a visit, you can see all the work that I have there. 48 pages, fully colored. The only ad for them is for this podcast. That work includes Project Geisha, Savages, and The Bali Be Damned. In addition to that, you have blogs and interview portals.
Interview portals.
That's right.
Nice.
I thought he said poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
He's poor, guys.
I am poor if I don't get all the
I thought you were saying pour another drink.
I will do that later.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes, but interviews and blogs and posts. And of course, a link to the Magic Our Way podcast so you never miss a beat. You never miss an episode. You never miss a travel agent's family adventure into the world of the epic universe. So as always, I appreciate the support given right there for Ivory Comics. On social media, I'm hanging out there. Facebook, Eli H. Ivory is where you can find me there as long as you're a real person. It's a pleasure. It's my honor to meet you. But if you are a bot, I cannot anymore greet you. I do not need any more talk about a job, working out the pipeline, doing IT to help Black Panther take over Iron Man. I'm sorry. I know this is not true. Please do not play with my feelings anymore.
That sounds like a job that would be right up your alley, actually.
If it was true, but they lied to me. They started with the girls, and now they go into IT jobs. It's a cruel world, and I think that's how Identity Crisis starts.
You've dated women that lied to you a lot more than bots.
And yet I believe it.
You're just a squirrel in the world.
I was trying to get a nut.
That's
it. So also on Facebook, you can check out the Project Geisha fan page. You'll get Facebook/Project Geisha. Also on Instagram, see what you guys have and what you guys put out. Put out the hearts and the likes and see what you got. Love it. Yeah, Ivory 504 is where you can find me there. And of course on X, you can find me in Hancock 10166. So yes, if you appreciate the madness, then you're just bringing me the gladness. Thank you very much.
And if you want to book a vacation to Universal Epic Universe, no doubt Rachel can help you. Rachel, how did you do this?
I can. I have a lot of experience now. I would love and be honored to help anybody who wants to book their trip to Epic Universe or the Disney parks, both West Coast and East Coast. I can also book cruises and major hotel brands around the world. The best way to reach me is by email, Rachel, Rachel, at magicourway.com. You can also find me on social media at Our Family Magic. That's the letter R and then the words Family Magic. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And then if you want something a little bit more simple, you can call me. My number is 978-432-WISH, WISH. You can call me there, leave a message. You can text me there. Fully functioning phone number. So give me a call. The biggest reason to book with me is that it costs nothing extra. It's literally the same price as if you book it on your own, but I can help you as much or as little as you like. And a little piece of your vacation cost comes back to support this podcast and this fan community. And we thank you so much.
Y'all, yeah, she's the best. I just have to say this story. It's like, she's helping me with my family vacation in July, and she was booking some dining stuff because it opened up this past May 2nd is when my window opened.
Yes.
And I got up at 5:30, getting ready for work, and I saw emails. I'm like, reservation book. I'm like, dang. Yes, she's an hour ahead, but at the same time, that's still early.
That's really early. I'm about ready to hit her up for that Geo 82 reservation coming up for our vacation.
I'm going to work on that.
All
that one's going to be hard, but I'm ready.
You're up for the challenge.
You can ask Josh, Kevin. I skipped the warm up at the gym to book your dining.
We were at the gym together, and I'm warming up and stretching and everything, and she's on her phone, and the coach is like, "What the hell? Who the are you texting?"
Oh, wow.
Like, no, it's Disney dining, and the coach is like, "Oh, okay, I get it."
I was like, "I have important work. I'll be right with you."
That's serious, man. Gym rats, that's serious.
What did you book that was, so in danger of selling out?
No.
Oh, it wasn't, but I just always want to make sure.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. That's the level of commitment.
Exactly. Yes.
That is awesome. Well spoken.
Look, when I woke up, I didn't expect to have all that already booked.
Whether it is Narcoossee's or whether it is
Geo 82.
Ranger Force Cafe.
That's right.
Rachel will take it seriously.
Yes. So that was awesome. Yeah. So definitely book with her. Reach out to Our Family Magic. You've been hearing the voice the entire show, but I just want to thank Josh for coming back. Long time a weekend, man. Josh, always good to have you.
Love Josh.
Yes.
Fantasy football participant.
Always fun to be here.
Yes.
Roberge Bowl competitor.
Yeah.
I look forward to the Roberge Bowl more than the Super Bowl.
That's the highlight of our fantasy football league.
Every
coming in
year.
at the other end of the summer is the Roberge Bowl. To see what happens.
It's intense in that house.
Always win.
Oh.
You can't talk that into existence yet, sir. You gotta
come on.
It's a whole new season, Josh.
Look,
come on.
Eli and I have been in a league for like 2 years now, and there's this one woman who has won 3 years in a row. And Eli looked at her this past. He's like, "I'm coming for you this time.
Yeah,
this is happening.
Yeah,
I am beating you.
Yeah,
like he's trying to will it.
How long have I been playing in this league? And she comes in and she just goddamn beats me every time.
In 2 years, in 2 years, she became a master.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about a skill. No doubt about a skill, but
I can't argue.
No,
there's nothing.
Beat my ass.
But crush me too. I didn't even know what league I was in.
Except in the playoffs, but I got lucky because Jalen Hurts got hurt or something.
Yeah.
But
no, he didn't get hurt. They took him out or something. Maybe he didn't get hurt. I don't know. It was like the last game and they had already made it into the playoffs.
Yeah. See, but every year, every game, it's all different.
I was
Saquon Barkley couldn't save me. NFL MVP Saquon Barkley.
180 hurdle and all. That's right.
That's funny.
That's right. So, look, listeners, stay tuned, stay subscribed because you can participate with the Roberge Bowl if you're lucky and in the fantasy football leagues.
And next week, part 2 of the Trip Report.
Part 2 of the Trip Report. Definitely want to stay with that.
Man.
Look, if you want to elevate your support, go to patreon.com/magic our way. And another option that only costs a minute or so of your time is to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and or if you access our show, whether it is YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, etc. Any way which you can support the show is deeply appreciated. We also want to thank you for being a loyal listener, and we always love hearing from our listeners. All opinions are always welcome on the Magic Our Way podcast, so make sure you get in touch with us today. So we say, Kwaharini, my name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Have an epic day!
All right. Nachos are on plates.
And you are.
Bye.